Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man. Um, I wanted to go over the whole tax element and just
Mm,
breaking it down to the point where everybody's comfortable. I know it's thrown around a lot. We don't got to pay taxes and all this type of stuff. But I want to kind of go over their manual,
okay.
their stuff coming from their mouth, type of deal. You feel me?
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people think that they have to go to work and taxes have to come out their check, etc. Um, a lot of people complain about, you know, taxes eating them up. I'm
Hell
I'm
yeah.
wor- I'm, I'm working hard, but Uncle
Mm-hmm.
Sam, the
Mm-hmm.
IRS,
Hmm.
these are things people are genuinely complaining about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so this is Title 26 CFR, which stands for Code of Federal Regulations, Section 31.3402, subsection P1, voluntary withholding agreements. And this is also, you can cross reference this same um, regulation code, federal regulation code, in the Internal Revenue Service, Department of Treasury, subchapter C, under employment taxes and collection of income tax at source. Part 31, employment taxes and collection of income at source.
Mm-hmm.
So we're dealing with the Internal Revenue Service manual, which is incongruent tied in with this. So if I'm reading this, it's the same thing as this because you can find it in both sections.
Right.
Right. So as we read, let me scroll down. Voluntary withholding agreements. Employer employee agreement. An employee and his employer may enter may
May.
enter into an agreement under section 3402P3A to provide for the withholding of income tax upon payments amounts described in paragraph B1 or section 3101A3 made after December 31st, 1970. An agreement may be entered into under this section only with respects to amounts which are includable in the gross income of the employee under Section 61 and must be applicable to all such amounts paid by the employer to the employee. The amount to be withheld pursuant to an agreement under Section 3402 P3A shall be entered under the rules contained in Section 3402 and the regulations thereunder. C 31.3405, subsection CA, concerning agreements to have more than 20% federal tax held from the eligible rollover distributions within the meaning of the section. So that's not
Mm-hmm.
even, but you see all the may, and if you want to,
Mm-hmm.
that's not even the headbanger.
Right. It's not a determining factor. It's more so like a possibility situation. Like, hey,
Yeah,
you could do this if you
right,
would like. Mm,
right.
mm, mm,
Now look at this though. Subsection B, form and duration of employer-employee agreement. So it's an agreement. And we heard the title of this section is voluntary withholding agreement.
mm-hmm. Yep. Voluntary.
Let's
Yeah. Voluntary.
let's
Mm,
let's use common sense and just kind of
mm-hmm.
read through what they're saying here, right? Right. Form and duration of employer-employee agreement, except as provided in subdivision 2 of the paragraph. An employee who desires to
Yeah.
enter into an agreement under section 3402 shall furnish his employer with a W-4. If
Mm,
you desire to have
mm,
taxes taken out your check, provide
right.
your employer with a W-4 withholding exemption certificate.
Right.
Right.
And they
So
don't.
That
Wait
means
a minute. They don't talk about. Hold on. They don't talk about none of this though. Like they don't ever say any of this. They automatic. It's like it seems like it's automatic. They take money out, and then if you want to go tax exempt, you got to tell them you don't want taxes taken out, rather than them saying, hey, would you like taxes taken out of your check? That sounds totally different. It's completely different from what any job that I've ever had.
Yep. So you're doing it that by this manual, the people are basically volunteering to get taxes taken out the check.
Right. But it's an involuntary volunteering though. Because they're not necessarily, I don't know if anybody really is just like, oh yeah, take the taxes out. Or do they don't even know.
Yeah, because the system's designed to have you on a fear tactic, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? So, but there's more.
There's more. Oh, there's more.
Executed in accordance with the provisions of Section 3402F and the regulations thereunder, the furnishing of such W-4 shall constitute a request for withholding. So when you get the W-4, you you're requesting withholding out of your check.
Just by receiving it? Wait a minute. The furnish of such form shall constitute a request for withholding.
Hey man, it's right here in the manual.
Man.
Right here in the manual. These people was blinded by Rome, the United States government. They gonna label people that stand up and know the law as terrorists and all this. They want to be stupid.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
It doesn't make sense because honestly, if you just read, you'll find out that a lot of things in this that's constitutional law is it's deemed on what you say or how you determine yourself as.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what they're picking you to be.
Exactly.
Like you get the option. You can choose to be an NBC or you can nationalize and become a part of a nation, which you can actually get rights.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems easy to me, man. It's an easy choice for me.
Helicopter, but if you talk to some, it's just helicopter. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that, man. You gotta learn a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, don't you gotta learn forever?
Yeah. Yeah. But there's more.
There's still more.
In the case of an employee who desires to enter into an agreement under Section 3402P with his employer, if the employee performs services in addition to those to be subject to the agreement, the remuneration for which is subject to mandatory income tax withholding by an employer, or if the employee wishes to specify that the agreement terminate. So wait, you can terminate the agreement.
Terminate the agreement.
On a specified date, the employee shall furnish the employer with a request for withholding, which shall be signed by the employee. Now that's called that it's a form to terminate, and that's called a W-4T.
Okay.
Right? Which is in harmony with the section we're reading right now. Right? It says you can terminate withholding as long right. Just know it's a form for that. It's called W-4T. Just like the W-4, the generic one, is to basically certify to your employer that you want withholding taken out, is one to terminate that. And it's called a W-4T, which stands for terminate.
Terminate. Yeah.
Right. So that as long as that form has got your name, address, the name of the employer, statement that the employee desires withholding income tax applicable, yada yada yada, and the employee desires that the agreement terminate on a specified date, and that's all. That language is on the W-4T.
Right. It's all on the form. Nice.
You feel me? And basically what you're saying, I wish not to participate in the voluntary withholding program.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm good on that, man. I don't want to participate in the voluntary withholding program. And it's a program, and it's a voluntary voluntary withholding program.
It's voluntary. So now why all these people complaining about
Right.
all this money coming out they check. I just don't get it.
I don't get it.
Personally, I don't get that.
So that means, wait a minute. So they're complaining about something they volunteered to do?
Right. It got to be a skit. It got to be a skit.
Yeah. You putting dubs on this. You the one. You asked for this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm going to come in. Oh, yeah, I'll volunteer a little time. And then you get mad that they didn't pay you. Like, wait a minute. Hold on. How you can't get mad that they didn't pay you when you said that you volunteering the time? That don't make sense. You know, like you said, you know, just keep it fairly simple here, man. Like, you know, let's keep it fairly simple and just read what we see. Voluntary. It's a voluntary agreement, is what they're looking at. Voluntary. No taxes, yeah. So that means, wait a minute though. So that means that's not privy of person though. That's not privy of person. That's not like a nationalized citizen or any. I mean, or a national or a citizen. That's either one. Like you either a national or a citizen. That doesn't like these are still penal codes, right? U.S. Penal Code.
Yeah, right. Like anybody competent can enforce that. This type of stuff we going over tonight. Yeah.
Right.
But once again, the information's out there, but it's still divine for one to enforce this type of stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Because people look at this and be like, "Oh man," and still go right back to their job and get the, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a little nervous about that. I don't know.
You feel me?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't want the IRS to come get me.
Right. Now, this the reason why they coming to get you, because you got into a contract and now you trying to not honor it. You got you voluntarily got into an agreement and didn't correct it. And all you had to do was terminate it. Or not get into the agreement in the first place.
All right. Just tell your employer, hey, look, I'm not volunteering for this program.
Right.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I want a little bit. I want all of my money. If I'm gonna pay taxes, I'll pay them later.
Now this all ties back into the whole minority, which we went over in the last videos, and mentally incompetent. And this is why I look at us this way, because it's stuff public record, and they know we're not gonna read. They know all we care about is the NBA and NFL. They know that's all we care about is the sitcoms. You know what I mean? Like, they confident that they got us docile.
Yeah.
That's how cocky they done got.
Yeah.
And it's just the label of minority for our people to accept that, knowing it's mentally
incompetent, or a ward of the state meaning the same thing.
Yeah.
Or a ward of the state meaning the same exact thing. Like, for real. The incompetent or an infant. They're saying you're a baby.
A foreigner calling you that on your own land, and you think you proud of that, being called that type of title. And it's insulting.
At one time, he was talking about that one time, now it started a fight.
Yeah.
When it was really big, when everybody was really like real Negroes and colored people. Like, you try to call from like black at that time, they'll fight you straight up. They took it offensive, but then it should be offensive when you getting called an adjective. I'm saying, like, I'm thinking about what you say, normal, like just normal reading comprehension in English literature, right? Black is a adjective that describes a noun, that describes a noun.
And then, and the noun is the more. Well, that's if you're looking at Blackamoor, the compound word.
The Blackamoor. The more is the noun. I remember that. I remember you put that up there. Yep, sure enough. Yep. And then I read it, and like I said, I read it in the book. So nothing that cross-referenced.
Yeah. That was a theme for a minute.
Hey but our things be they be necessary because they all kind of they correlate later. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't hit immediately, even when we were working on it at that time, they definitely correlate later when you can bring it back up like now. You know what I'm saying? Talking about another book. You know what I mean? Just noticing like, yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised Jay ain't in here right now though.
Who?
Jonathan.
Man, yeah.
I just knew he was going. I was like, watch, this is gonna be me, him, and Mop today. I had a feeling that I was like me, him, and Moppy today, bro. I already know. And when it was just me and you, I was like, all right, that's cool.
I thought about it last minute, so I didn't want to. I know he got the wife and kids, so I know I like to give him a lot of time.
Yeah, you know we live in the same type of life right there.
Yeah.
For sure. You know what I'm saying? No youth yet. No youth yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but I put it like this, in the sense of learning myself and getting to know me and making sure that I know myself enough to be capable of giving my seeds and my youth, you know what I'm saying, the best of me. I feel like I'm a lot closer now than I was even months ago. You know what I'm saying? So like just being more prepared, you know, just being more, like you said, being more competent, right? Being more competent allows you to feel like you're a little more on top of things, even if you're not there, but it's still an incremental growth is still growth, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is Title 18 United States Codes, Section 8, obligations or other security of the United States. So what I'm highlighting here is what one of those obligations of the United States are, right? The term obligation or other security of the United States includes all bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes. So I'm not going to even read no more. Federal Reserve notes.
Federal Reserve notes.
That green stuff in your pocket.
Ain't that currency? That's fiat, right?
That's that green stuff in your pocket.
Yeah, Federal Reserve notes. That's what I said.
You just read it. That's what it is. So before I don't even got to read no more. So the Federal Reserve notes are obligations of the United States.
Huh. Wait a minute. Now, obligation of the United States and other securities of the United States defined. 18 U.S. Code. What's that?
Section 8.
Section 8.
Obligation. Yep.
Obligation or other security of the United States defined. The term obligation or other security of the United States include all bond, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve bank notes. Damn. But that's obligation?
Yep. So that's not your obligation, that's the United States. And we know the United States is a corporation.
Right.
And if you didn't know that.
Listen. Yeah. Well, you know what? It might be a little fuzzy. Let's go over it.
If you didn't know, right?
Talking about a nation. It's like, how can a corporation be a nation? A corporation can't be a nation.
Title 28,
United
States Code, subsection 3002. Subsection 15, the United States means a federal corporation. So the obligations of the United States. So the obligations of is to this corporation. They're just like Walmart. They're just like FedEx. They're just like Taco Bell. The obligation is to that franchise, not to the Aboriginal American people.
Right. So they're in this voluntary situation, they're making you pay the tax on what they're supposed to pay.
Facts. No, not making you. The people.
Well, no. I'm sorry. allowing you to choose to pay.
Yeah.
That's right, not making, because they're not making you do nothing. Literally not making you do anything. They're
But now
not
check
making you
this
do
out though.
anything.
Check this out. This Title 31, United States Codes, Section 3124, exemption from taxation. Stocks and obligations of the United States government are exempt from taxation by a state or political subdivision of the state. The exemption applies to each form of taxation that will require the obligation, the interest on the obligation, or both to be considered in computing the tax. So if we just read obligations of the United States, and one of those obligations are Federal Reserve notes, and now we're reading that obligations of the United States are exempt from taxation, that means Federal Reserve notes are exempt from taxation.
Well, that would mean the money that that would mean the Federal Reserve notes that you acquire for the time spent at your said job should not be taxed, because
Right.
Federal Reserve notes by this code should be exempt.
Precisely.
Wow.
And then we go to, and then we'll understand all this stuff will make sense once we go to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10. It'll all make sense.
So it's gonna round back in on Article 1, Section 10. Okay.
Article 1, Section 10, Constitution of America. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payments of debts. So only thing that's money is gold and silver coin, not Federal Reserve notes.
Right.
So that's another reason why it's paper. It's private commercial paper issued by a corporation.
Right.
That's monopoly money.
Yeah.
They didn't fool the people to think that's the source of trade. It's a source of bartering.
It's not though. The only thing that's tendered as money is gold and silver and land.
So that's why we got to get back to locking the land down, getting some farmers. And farmers is nothing but more scientists. They tracking the moon cycles and Venus, and they know growth patterns on the planet.
Right.
So we getting back to the, knowing how to grow for ourselves.
Back to nature. That's it. Back to nature. Your natural element, right?
Yep.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Fuck, man. Like this is so in depth though. And how many different layers it's like we've been like when you get your covers raised for you and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it feel like. They just put too many covers on you. Now you trying to pull off, you hot, and you pulling off one cover at a time, and you got all these quilts and blankets and shit to kind of like just to get back to, oh shit, now I feel better.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of feel like right now. They just layered on top of layered on top of layered shit. You know what I'm saying? To just like, and it's not even hidden. It's still right here. But it's so many different layers to how much they're doing as far as with these penal codes. Like you wouldn't even think to, like sometimes you don't think to go back to the original law. You know what I'm saying? What started law.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I got this up. I'm seeing other stuff on here. So ex post facto law, which is law after the fact. Right. If it's not constitutional, it don't matter. So any penal code and statute that came after the fact that's not in harmony with the Constitution, which these officers and mayors and anybody that's calling themselves a United States official take an oath to, it doesn't matter. It's the only thing that matters. And then also title of nobility. So it says basically they can't grant title of nobility. Now,
Mm.
let's go to Esquire,
Yeah.
because that's what the bar members are. That's what these British Attorney
Mm.
Registry, these attorneys, these bar members.
No titles of nobility.
Let's look up what an Esquire is. See if I can get a Black's Law Dictionary. Black's Law. Oh, yeah. See, look. An Esquire in English law, a title of dignity. Now we already just now we just read the Constitution, right?
Right.
No titles of nobility.
Right. Above a gentleman. Below a knight. That would be noble.
Right. English. English title of nobility. This ain't England.
Yeah.
This ain't Britain or England. Right? Bar member. The acronym for bar is British Attorney Registry. Right? So we're talking about European, and we're looking at European law. A title of dignity above a gentleman and below a knight. Also a title of office given to sheriff, sergeant, and barristers at law, justice of the peace, and others. Right? Hold on, let me get this little screen out the way.
And what does bar mean again?
British Attorney Registry.
British Attorney Registry. Okay.
Yep. They barristers at law. That's what they are too. That's another term for them.
Barristers at law. Wow.
Yeah.
Justice of the peace.
So that's a title of nobility. That's unconstitutional.
Right. Off top, off rip. Off the jump, that's unconstitutional. They're not supposed to have any titles of nobility.
They a little pop up.
Wow.
What you said.
Interesting. But what I was reading was when they went into treason, in their treasonistic act in 1871. So 1871.
Oh, Act of State?
1871. Yeah. 1871 is when they went into treason.
No, what was that? When they made themselves a corporation? What's that?
Yeah, exactly. They lost their sovereignty. Exactly, you're right. They lost their sovereignty in 18. But I was trying to find out why though, or how. No, I was trying to find out how long that the United States were sovereign in America. That's what I wanted to find out. Sovereign? But I know they lost their sovereignty in 1871 and turned back into a corporation. I just read that today.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. Oh, the Act of 1871. That's what it was.
Yeah, the Act of 1871. I tripped out when I read that, and then I cross-referenced this. I went straight to the internet and put it in, bro, and I read it, and I'm looking at it just like how you about to look at it right now, and I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? They admitted this?
Right, they're a corporation. Wow.
Like they admitted this.
But people want to stay asleep. They think they patriotic.
First they admitted treason. That's the first thing they admitted was treason. Right? They admitted treason, and then they admitted they lost their sovereignty and going to the corporation from 1872.
That's the one you read?
Actually, no. It wasn't even this one. It was just like, I just threw in 1871. Constitution.
Constitution. You put
Constitution. Yeah, it was still on there. Yeah, I put 18 instead of put the act of it, I put 1871 Constitution, and then it popped up like that. Oh wow. This is actual manuscript.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's actual manuscript right there. Shit. Can you just go back to the search? Like the regular search, the Google search? Is that Google search right there? That's cool.
pretty-
Just put 1871 Constitution. See if that works. Yep, there it is. Don't even put the act. Forget about that. Yep, right there. This is it right here. That's what I read. The top. The
This
very
one
top. The first one that popped up. Like we go scroll down.
right here.
Just scroll down. No. Forget about that. No, scroll down and look at the first thing that pop up. Like right at the top, at the very top. Top of
Very
the screen.
top.
Yeah, the very top of the screen. I just read this
Right here.
right here. By passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason against the people who were sovereign under the grants and decrees of the Declaration of Independence and the organic Constitution. The Act of 1871 became the foundation of all the treason since committed by government officials. I just read that. I didn't need to read nothing else. I was like, damn, they just committed treason, like right there.
Hey, I passed by it because I'm like, that can't be nothing. I'm like, they flat out just telling you.
That's what I said.
Hey,
I said, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. Like right there, they just gonna say it like that. I ain't gotta search for it or nothing. That's what tripped me out. Because I thought I was gonna have to search for it or something, but it was like right there. And they just committed, like, look, committed treason. 2 times they said treason.
Yeah.
And then what? People who were sovereign, which was us.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Like, they do stuff like that. They call it to release the karmic
So
debt.
they committed a treasonous act against. Ever since then, they've been in treason.
Yeah, that's horrible. But you know what, though? They acquiesce when they see the truth in their face.
Like, shoot, I didn't write this. And then like I had nothing. And then like I could have wrote this down. Like, shoot, I ain't been around from 1871. I ain't been around from 1971.
They just magicians, man.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You said the European is the best at crafty mind manipulation. They're the best at it. They got that shit down to a science, but they've been doing it for so long, bro. That's all they've been doing. They politics been like that forever. When we've been straight up, like, you know what I'm saying? It's about your word with us. You know what I'm saying? Like your word means something. You will lose your life for your word. With them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they trying to test you with whatever they can throw at you to see how much truth they really got to tell you. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's a weird way of going about life for me. I just couldn't live like that. I couldn't live in a lie like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'd be tough. That'd be tough. Like trying to figure out what I remember, what I said. Like, damn, what'd I say?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, it's not in our nature. But we back. We on the rise,
Yeah. Right. Yeah, right. Yeah,
I'm glad to be living in these times in the physical form,
And that's what I've been trying to get to my partners though. I've been trying to get them to understand all that good stuff, and I've been like, yeah, that's great, bro, but you still live in this physical plane, so you might as well take care of yourself while you own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why sit there and just concentrate on only things outside of what your physical body can handle when you still got to live through? You know what I'm saying? But then you're gonna complain the next time somebody get chipped by the police or something like that happen, bro. You're gonna be complaining. You're gonna be like, man, what we got to do? And like I said, I got one answer for you, bro. So we can be our own government. We don't have to worry about what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can have our own share, our own sharifs. We have our own everything. We ain't got to worry about what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And they can't stop us from doing it because we got multiple acts in place to protect us. But we have to be that. We can't be NBCs. That's not indigenous, even though it is at the same time.
Yeah.
It's still not. It's still not because it's not considered anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he was like, that's what Jamal was talking about earlier. He was talking about how even though you class yourself, you know what I'm saying, so-called black, you still considered indigenous. You know what I'm saying? You're still considered indigenous. So you're still protected by these rights. You know what I'm saying? Like one more time, what was that? The
Inter-American rights.
Inter-American rights of indigenous people. There you go. Yeah.
The Inter-American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People.
Inter-American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous.
Yep. Indigenous people. Yep.
Indigenous people. Yeah. I'm gonna go look over that. That's an in-depth one right there too. I feel like we might want to, might want to jump back on that one a little bit. Whenever we can.
Yeah, that was on that Positive Law like Part 2. On the YouTube. That Positive Law Part 2.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it's on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you the one reading it.
Oh, I was reading it on there.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize. Hey, I remember going over it though. I remember going over it in class, and I didn't know if we went over it on the Zoom or not. I didn't remember that. I didn't remember going over it on Zoom. But I do remember going over it in class though. Like when we was doing our class, I remember going over it then.
Yeah, I was recording.
Huh?
I was recording when we was going over it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember reading it then. Yeah, hell yeah, I remember reading it then. I read a few I read a few sections on that one. Yeah.
Go on the page. It's called. It's the title of that video. It's called Positive Law Part 2.
Positive Law Part 2. All right, cool. I definitely go check that out again for sure. Yeah,
but if you can't, we can still go over it if you want, like more in depth.
Yeah, honestly, I have no problem with it because I know it's something. You know what? Like when we, how we be like looking for little stuff that that we can grab. That we can like use immediately outside of just using like over periods of time. Like I feel like it's a lot of little gems in there that we can kind of grab and kind of like keep in the back of our mind, or at least keep it in some paperwork. Like, look, hey, no, boom, hit them with that. Because now I'm starting to understand what measuring is. Like really I'm starting to really understand what measuring is, just because they talk about measuring in law, like in the sense of law, they talk about measuring. So that's basically, not necessarily answering anything, but answering what they say with more policy. Like, hey, this is with more constitutional amendments or whatever, but not necessarily saying anything personal. Like you're not saying nothing. You're just using the information that's in front of you and just saying that right now. All right, well, all right, so this is what you say. I'm gonna say this right here. Boo, 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 boo. You know what I mean? And that makes more sense, because now you kind of get into a point where you kind of figure out what's real and what's not. And now, like saying that.
Yeah, you kind of
that play with when you cut per hand, because like I said, we're real, they're not. It's fairly simple. Like, and it's fairly simple. I was talking to my peoples about it. I was telling them, I know it's a challenge to be a Moor, but like honestly, like what though? Like, feel me? Like, what's the challenge? So you have to be more competent at law. You got to stand on your own square. Okay, you got to be a man, right? Like, fuck.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? How many times you went in the courtroom, you didn't have no lawyer? How many times? I mean, think about that shit. As a citizen, going straight to the. Do you yes or no? Do you what is it? Guilty or non-guilty? I'm saying, or or no contest, right? Let's say, how many times you did that shit by yourself? Feel me? Instead of just being like, hey, wait a minute, I'm already up here by myself. Fuck it. Why not? Like, why not say something about, hey, what do I know? Hey, wait, hey, hold on. I don't think I did none of this shit. Fuck that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you might have did that shit, I don't think I did none of it. You got, hey, where the dude that said I did it?
Right.
Feel me? Like even as a citizen, like, like, that's just being more competent as a citizen. I see people stand up and fight for themselves all the time, and they're citizens, but it just makes more sense when you got a nation behind you, or a society behind you. You know what I mean? Makes way more sense. All right, yeah. So, in the sense of using your counsel, can you, like, you can always, like, you can't speak for me, but I can always talk to you, or can you speak for me?
I mean, like, if you're not there or something like that, but if you're present, every Moor supposed to be able to stand on his own square. But I can whisper. You can come back and be like, "Hold on, I need to talk to my counsel," because like that's pursuant to the treaty.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't deny that. But if you
right.
kind of have a gray area, come
Yeah.
back, whisper in your ear, like, stay on course, press this issue, whatever.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Like I said, you can't say you a bailiff of 100 and not be able to stand on your square though. Like, you can't say you the law and not be able to know the law. It don't make sense. That like it's
yeah,
redundant to be like that's redundant. So
yeah,
like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Makes sense. You
yeah,
know? Yeah. But I'm like I said, I'm appreciating the somewhat of pressure that it puts on you. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like that. Like that was always my I felt like it was my time to shine when the pressure was biggest. Like, some people fold. I wasn't a folder. I didn't like I never really thought about it for the most part. Like, it was just one of those things where it's like, all right, well, like either you know what I'm saying? Like either you stand up or lay down.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, feel me? Feel. Man, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm looking, but yeah. I know. Simple. Fairly simple. Anyway.
yeah.
I don't get it though. I don't get it. I don't get why we gotta have so many names. Why we want to get called so many names. I don't get why we want to get called so many names.
Yeah, man. That's what make this divine, like make you take it to another level, of your being, because this is like, especially when you look your oppressor in the face and
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
you
Yeah.
watching them just tremble, man. Like,
Right.
but
Right.
this what makes it divine, the metaphysical and the physical together. Because for one to even do that, one would have to ascend to a level of consciousness and confidence
Mm-hmm.
in who he is. I am that I am,
Right.
Allah in the flesh, enforcing all law, because that's Allah is just all law, you know. So that's all we enforcing
Yeah.
in the flesh
Yeah.
is the law,
Yeah. Right.
you know. So when you
In
come in
all
like
law,
that,
it's just like from like in the lines of business. Mm-hmm.
yeah. When you in harmony, it's like you fear nothing. You fear nothing in the physical realm, because that's most of our people' problem is they fear this European, this foreigner on their own land, and that foreigner is using that against them to make them go to work and not assimilate amongst themselves and start their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's why I say that's the divine part. You have to ascend, and that's the true baptism.
Right.
Is honoring your ancestors, honoring your mother and fathers, and then you become the ancestor in real time.
Right.
The empire back,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
based on the people's comprehension
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
and connection.
Yeah. And connection. Yeah. Like, but that word comprehension is important, man, because I don't think some comprehend when we say national, uh, or natural or national degree of what we mean by that, in a nation. I know that. I know they don't understand nation status and all that stuff because I didn't know what that stuff meant. You know what I'm saying? Before I declared. So it was like, to get that information of what that means in law, like, and how you can make that work for you instead of against you, like things seem like they seem like laws aren't against you. They're not for you or against you. They're just there. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's it's the energy that either helps or hurts you, right? So in that aspect, like, but you still have to know. You gotta know the law to have it help you, or it's gonna hurt you. Because if somebody else is more competent in law, they can just have you in fear, like you said, have you in fear of it because you don't know that you have more wiggle room. You have more room to move around and get, you know what I'm saying, to kind of get out of what you thought it was going to be. And it may be way less if you can kind of, you know, maneuver it a little bit more so in your favor. But you got to, like I said, you got to know what works for you. You got to know law enough so you can, you know, make it work for you rather than just kind of seeing it like, oh man, no, the laws are against me. Like, no, laws aren't against anyone. They're not against or for anyone. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying the basket is against you. Like, how's the basket against you? It's just up there. Just because you missed the shot doesn't mean the basket's against you. You missed the shot. You feel me? You can make the shot or you can miss it, but the basket's not against you. So the law itself is like the basket. It's just not against you. It's just like, what are you going to do? Are you going to make this shot or are you going to miss it? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people complain like, damn, I'm missing a whole lot of shots, man. This basket must be, you know what I'm saying, for the other team or some shit like that. But it don't play like that, you know. It don't have a soul. It don't have a motivation. You know, so, but it's like I said, I appreciate the difference in my mindset, just like, you know what I'm saying, going about it. Like I was telling Jamar, I'm like, I'm learning how to have a little bit more fun when I introduce information to people rather than being so staunch on how much they need this, even though they need it. You know what I mean? I know they need it, but if I present it like they need it, then sometimes that's a turn off. It turns them, you know what I'm saying? It gets them to push it away because, you know, like we're like all of those master teachers said, we're very, very let's say cocky people. You know what I'm saying? We're arrogant people. You know what I'm saying? Feeling like oh, I need it, huh? Really? Bro, I don't need nothing but to stay black. You say shit like that.
Yeah.
Feel me?
That's easier.
Feel me? It's easier, much easier. So, like, just knowing that, like, that's a big deal. Big deal.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, man. I got a meeting at 9:30.
Okay.
They're over here blowing me up. I actually forgot about it, man.
Yeah.
But
no.
But I wanted to get this in, man, and you know, just get a little session in with you.
For sure.
You know?
I gotta figure out what the hell on my camera, but you know, shit, I like to put my face on YouTube too. Fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, anytime. You know, I'm always up to learn something. You know what I'm saying? Put something together, and you know, for sure. Like you do a great job of putting things in order. So I'm definitely game. For sure, Noble. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Just think of stuff you want to touch up on or whatever. Just let me know too.
Okay. Will do. I need to get into that book, the one that you've been on. The Brits, what's the name? What's that? Britons.
Ancient Modern Britons.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. Like I said, I got so many books right now. It's hard. I can't, like, and they all new. So it's like, man, if I put one down, I'll be trying to, like, you know, float around. I don't want to float around too much. So, like, yeah, I just be kind of sticking to the script on what I'm doing. But hell yeah, I'm gonna get on that one too.
Yeah,
for sure. Shit, yeah, man, for sure. No, I appreciate it more.
Yeah, no, likewise.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate vibrating with you, bro. And you have a beautiful night, man.
Absolutely. You do the same, man. You do the same for sure. Yeah, and go give them that knowledge in that meeting, man. I know you about to impart that wisdom out there. So go ahead and give it to them.
Yeah. All the time.
For sure. All right, Mom. I'll see you in a minute, brother.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.